Okay, I want to show you how you definitely go in for the low-hanging fruit in a given area by seeing it better. So if I were to come and do a search for one of the cities, Denver, and I said Denver locksmiths, there are very few searches monthly for that. There are less than 20. So not even one per weekday, right? This is per month, by the way. This is monthly volume. All right. So let's not even look at that so much. Let's try something a little better. Let's try Denver locksmith singular. Aha, this makes a lot more sense. People are thinking about one locksmith. They're not thinking about many. Okay, so there are 320 for the monthly, not bad. 150 estimated clicks. What's that mean? That means that half the people that did the keyword search on exactly this keyword, Denver locksmith, saw what they needed to see and didn't need to click anything. They didn't click any of the web pages. Okay? Probably because they saw a phone number already. Right? There you go. Now, out of those guys doing that, mobile versus desktop, obviously mobile's the heaviest, but there are a lot of desktop too. And so that means the guy's inside. What I think is the purple for desktop represents searches for commercial security or upgrade to my security systems, stuff like that, non-emergency, right? I'm locked out of my car. All right. Paid clicks are something in the neighborhood of 19%. So like 2 out of 5 clicks are on an ad. That means 3 out of 5 are not. Okay. Difficulty is horrible. Anything over 70, they need sites like yours. They got to be at least like 5 years old. The domain names. Okay. You can update the stuff on your domains as long as you're talking about the same cities and the same kinds of topics. You can adjust. It doesn't have to be exact, but it should be the same business name, address, phone combination on the material that represents the same location and the same general business line. Okay. Now that's the kind of stuff we can do. We can update your old domain names while maintaining with global variables everything that they need to have on it. And so we don't lose that. We can keep them in the same areas. And obviously you're talking about the same stuff. It's locksmith stuff. Google knows that. It's not like you sold your domain name and somebody bought it from an auction and they threw their own stuff up because it had some kind of domain authority and backlink appeal. Okay. So now, having said that, let's take a closer look. There are 257 similar keywords, right? Like locksmith Denver CO gets 1,000. See, that's different than the 320 for the Denver locksmith here. That's one keyword. But there are 270 keywords that get anything from 1,000 down, say. All right, let's take a closer look at that. It's important. Okay, keyword difficulty, a lot of it's really, really high, and we're looking for low-hanging fruit. And we want to make sure we're getting good volume on those things. So let's just try something out here. Let's say search volume has a minimum, let's say at least 20. And keyword difficulty can go from nowhere to, 50, just for the fun of it. I mean, in your case, you could probably go higher because your domains are sold. Okay, let's just see what it shows. Okay. That's a pretty good assortment of about 13. I mean, we could add to it. Okay, if we just take a look at the keyword difficulty, it goes from here to here. One thing I noticed is that we lose the nulls. I'm not sure how to capture the nulls in keyword difficulty. Never tried. Probably the dashes. Usually I just export, but I want to export the ones that had no keyword difficulty. No known keyword difficulty if they have volume. Okay, volume is the other end of the spectrum. So if you have no keyword difficulty and a volume of 55, that means if we create content for that phrase onto one or more websites, we can shove them all up to fill the gap because there's no competition. It's not hard. And yet there's like 55 guys coming to that front page. So locksmith in Denver, I mean, honestly, if I were to go there, this is the point, right? Even though you see a bunch of stuff here, organically at least, we're not looking at the paid analysis. Oh, I see. Top result is Yelp. Next is Angie's List. Then you got some guy who may or may not have updated his website in quite a long while. They just haven't been challenged, and so it'd be easy to step in and start outdoing them in a case like this. Okay, so Yeah, the point is that we can get in there and deal with that. I'll show you that in a minute. And so abracadabra, locksmith, that. Yeah, I mean, some of these we won't try for, although there's other stuff I have to explain about that some other time. You can remind me about abracadabra, right? And that it's a company name. We'll have that discussion separately. It's pretty interesting. So you can add up all the guys that are landing on Google on the front page of these keywords. So anything that we want to go for, the difficulty is not that hard. Okay, it's easy enough for us to squeeze in and compete with. And we might well be able to compete with 70 and up anyway, partially because your domain names are already sold, and second, because we are writing with GPT-4 onto websites that are highly machined for quality. Okay, so we really can do a lot. And the reason you would do multiple websites for each of these is the volume is to the front page of Google. It's not everyone clicked the top result or the second one down or the third one down. The 55 people who landed on the website, like 2 a day, they clicked whatever they wanted to click. I mean, they came here and they just clicked whatever made sense at the time, but 20% of them clicked on ads, right? So the other 80% of them did not. All right, 4 out of 5. If that, 4 out of 5. Yeah. Not 3 out of 5, 4 out of 5. So the idea is the way to get the majority of these guys that are clicking on organics is to have multiple results on that front page, right? Same with every other keyword we're going after. So we want multiple websites aiming for all these keywords. Be 10 organic spots, keyword by keyword, wherever you can. Where you cannot be 10, be 9. Where you cannot be 9, be 8. Where you cannot be 8, be 7. So by putting this whole spread out, then we're going to fill in as many of those gaps as we possibly can and rise from there as the websites improve themselves from people's actions. By the way, you know what Google heat maps are? Heat maps. It's where Google thinks people should be focused on the page. They expect a lot of attention around the phone number. But if there's a video, they expect some attention around that. Certain images, attention around that. Some of the high your best headlines, attention around that. A form to fill in, attention around that. So Google knows what those things are, and they're looking to see if people actually are paying attention to any of those things. It doesn't matter if it's thin or thick, but is it aligned properly? Well, our websites, because they're busy organizing how people react, they wind up bringing people's attention in line with Google heat maps. So over the course of time, people actually perform the way Google wants them to perform to rank you higher, if that makes sense. So we literally just let the websites come into alignment with Google heat maps by letting them do their jobs. What do you think of that? All right, there's that whole angle, okay? And this is the way that we can go for low-hanging fruit and capture it and start grabbing stuff, okay? That's one way. Another way, this is a tool that follows the questions people ask on Google. It's also API plugged. And so what it does is download the data. So you give it a starting point. For instance, on this thing, I gave it this starting point. Lock and key security for schools. Maybe I'm going to write a blog about this. But what should my blog talk about? Well, think about this. There are 4 branching really good questions that lead to this or lead from this. The line doesn't really indicate one way or the other. It's people come and go through these things. And what is very relevant to this, the next most asked questions that relate to this, what is lock and key security? I didn't know that. Now I do. I would not have thought to put that on a web page about this topic, but now I know I want to. I'm going to write about this on this page. So I'm going to create a page about this that's going to write about this, that, and that. So you could draw a big circle and say that's one web page. Okay? Should classroom doors be locked at all times? What locks do school doors have? Why do school doors lock from the outside? All of it has to do with lock and key security for schools. I would write my web page this way. I could include other things, and I can certainly put in plugs for pitching. You know, pattern interrupts, ads between the paragraphs going, if you need a locksmith, click here. But I'm going to make it an informational page like a blog, a page that's informational, because Google wants you to do that to have an authority website. Now, that means that the people who read this, many of them will never buy from you, but it doesn't hurt your traffic. It doesn't block other people from getting through to you. But if they come and read and they're interested in what you say, which will happen, then your website scores higher and even you rank higher for the keywords you want, namely the ones that do matter. Guess what though? What is lock and key security? So now that I wrote a page that introduces these topics here, maybe some more also, but definitely these, what else? Well, I can take this and say, wow, man, I should write a whole page about this now, like in my menu or as a new blog. So I'm going to make it about this because that's what should happen here, okay? And I'm going to make a web page about this stuff here. Anything and everything that relates to me. Do you have to do this? Is this the one and only way to make web pages that rank on Google? Obviously not. But if we do this, we are doing what Google sees as an organized stack of comprehensive pages that answer the questions people are asking that are about the topics they're looking for. So our web pages are hot, okay? Or blogs, right? Why do school doors lock from the outside? And that has to do with these other questions. How do you secure an outward opening door in a classroom? Can a teacher lock a student out of the classroom? Why do schools stop using lockers? Is locking doors OCD? How do you stop kids from locking doors? You know, all this stuff, right? And the thing is, I don't have to know the answer to any of this. I'll have GPT-4 write it because it's an expert at all of this. It can write all of this. So then we'll do another page about that, another page about that. And then what could we do? We could keep going. What is the open door policy at school? You know what? I want to see how far I can get and keep creating more totally authoritative topic style pages for this website or stacks of blogs or a combination. Oh, that becomes our new opener for this. So now we can write that page about this, and then we can write these pages about those. Google isn't wanting you to just purely pitch yourself organically. They want you to be interesting for the question. They're the demographics. When people land on the page, if they know what they're looking for, they click an ad. If they want to read up on stuff, they go down. And in your case, you have this cool overlap where the guys at the top get too full, too busy. And so people have to keep going down the page anyway. But yeah, you can definitely make your pitch pages hit at the top. But if you ever thought, man, how'd that guy get up there? If you do a site colon check, you're going to find he has like 200 pages on his site, and like maybe even 180 of them are wrapped up in blogs and perhaps some other web pages. It's not that they're blogs, it's that they're either pages or blogs on the website that talk about all these topics. And that's just it. Are they talking about good topics? One way that you can make your page for schools stand out better and make yourself rank higher in the city is if you name the schools in the neighborhoods and link to each school. Garfield Elementary School is a clickable link that goes to Garfield Elementary School. Okay? And then the next school, the next school, the next school, university, high school, middle school, whatever it is. And by doing that purely, you are adding to the fact that you're an authority on the topic in your area. We can automatically generate awesome content that makes us an authority on everything, everywhere, if we just put our minds to it. And we will outrank everyone else. That's why we're showing you these crazy ranking results for the web pages that are only getting like 1 or 2 pages indexed right now. Google's evaluating each page standalone. Now, if you put great pages together on your site, your whole site gets to move up with a whole new score that has to do with the fact that those pages are on your site all together. But the one at a time, standing alone the way it is, I've never seen. It's the most powerful thing I've ever seen, and it's happening. So our websites are causing this to happen. Now, the only other cool thing is, if you were to write, that's just it. This is fast and easy and can be automated, okay? While this is writing all night long, pages onto the websites, we're going in here and going after the low-hanging fruit and targeting them with pitches outright, because we figure that's what they're looking for. And we want to show up for that. And there's very little competition compared. I mean, 30, sure, that's medium competition, really. But the fact that we can create so well, that's what's incredible. If I come back to the keyword overview, lest we forget, view all, the one thing I want to remember is this. Look at this. No keyword difficulty for any of these things. And they get in like a 135 or 125-ish a month searches. Affordable locksmiths and garage door installation in Denver. Sounds like a company to me, but I don't know. Could just be a guy with his garage door installation that needs locksmiths for that, sure. Locksmith of Denver. Locksmith Denver Mobile. Locksmith of Denver Co. CO. And all of this, right, is just low-hanging fruit. There's more low-hanging fruit. There's more low-hanging fruit. Okay? So anyway, those are two tactics to run in parallel on each of the mini websites that can be specific to its own purpose. Residential here, commercial here, emergency there, automotive here. Those would be new domains. So, they go after the lower keyword difficulty. But the higher level domains, the ones that you've had for years, sure, leave everything on there and we just make those supersized, right? So to speak. The modern templates with lots of good content. Now, the last question you might have would be this, right? What if we're creating all those pages? What was I even using? And I'll just click on the first thing here. I want to make this point. So, we can't put all those pages up in here, right? And if they're all the way down in the sitemap, that's a very low score for the pages. If we had like 1,000 pages in here, but nothing connected up here, that would be a low score. But we don't want to do huge drop downs. That's ridiculous too. But on all these pages, they're talking. The more stuff we upload with contents, then when we rerun the internal linking, it's going to find more pages with matches to the stuff that we're generating. If we do a page for cutting edge design, we don't have one yet, but say we do one. It doesn't need to be in the menu. It's just an existing page with that name. Then the website will hyperlink to it, deeper down into the website. And then we hyperlink to unbeatable performance. Guess what happens? We're linking to those deeper level pages. And guess what happens on those deeper level pages? They're talking about all this stuff. So there's going to be more opportunity for linking back to some of these pages as well as other pages. So just the sheer act of creating a bunch of pages allows us to keep wrapping together this highly knit network of pages all throughout your site that are worth their time to read. And that means you can show up for lots more keywords than ever before, and the keywords relate to each other, even from a Google point of view, and anyone can go to the main page of the site from any page, no matter what. And sure, we can have the sidebar, and we can have the most popular pages, most popular services, 100% guaranteed money back, whatever, call us now. We can do that. That's okay. And we can have pattern interrupts in between the paragraphs. We can have a section between the paragraphs that says, contact us for a locksmith, that kind of thing. Okay, I think you see the point. It's the power is out of this world. It's just a matter of who wants it, All right, I think you get it. So yeah, let's talk soon.